Melbourne Victory are back at home for the first time since that famous or infamous Melbourne derby. These two sides back in action for the first time in 2023. Victory taking on a Brisbane Roar side who are turning in to the toughest assignment in the A-League. It's been tough off the pitch in recent weeks for Victory, but they're not getting much joy on it either over the festive period. Back-to-back losses, the worst shot conversion in the league, and a side featuring a feast of internationals and led by the Portugal legend Nani. They have failed to score in 5 out of 9 this season. 3 changes for Tony Popovic. Roderick Miranda makes his first start since before the World Cup, and that 3-0 loss to Adelaide. He comes in for Lee Broxham. Josh Berlanti returns for the youngster Will Wilson in midfield, and Nick D'Agostino, last season's top scorer, is in for the injured Chris Economides, while Matt Acton continues in goal. Paul Izzo underwent thumb surgery and will be out for another 3 to 4 weeks. Well, there is the former Socceroo, Mats Biranovic, who's missed the entire start of the season due to a foot injury. He makes his second start of the campaign in back-to-back matches. His 61st A-League game. He's only ever scored once. It came against Brisbane in the 2014 Grand Final. Well, for Warren Moon's side, looking for 8 matches without loss. Just the one change, and it comes in defence where captain Tom Aldred is sidelined with that throat injury. He has a damaged larynx, and no risk will be taken with the risk of doing any more damage. The experienced Jack Hingard comes in. It will require some sort of reshuffle at the back, and we'll see how they line up in a moment. Jordan Holmes was sent off against Victory earlier this season. He continues between the posts after missing 3 games after his suspension. And Carlo Armiento is the one to look out for in attack. 3 goals in his last 5 matches. They've won just 3 times here against Victory. They'll be looking to get their first win over Victory in over 2 years. It is the away side that get us underway, looking for that 3rd win of a season in which they've proved defensively they're a tough nut to crack this evening. Daniel McBreen, they'll have to do it without their captain, without their leader at the back, Tom Aldred. But they're up against a Victory side struggling to score goals, a Victory side asking themselves a few questions at the moment.
Yeah, good evening, Robbie. You're right. Most of the talk around these two teams has been about the scoring woes, but I feel tonight that it could be all about the back lines. You've got Sporanovic and Miranda coming back in, 2 experienced centre-backs for Melbourne Victory, and Brisbane Roar's talisman, as you say, Tom Aldred, out. And they seem to have, well, they do have a worse record when he is out of the team. Will they offer up the chances for those Melbourne Victory front 4 to turn things around?
First corner of the match, inside a minute. It goes the way of the away team. It'll be Jay O'Shea, one of the creators and one of the dead ball specialists in the A-League, the Irishman. Standing over this one, Matt Acton, just his 2nd appearance of the season in goal for Victory and under early pressure. It's a good ball, and it's cleared off the line by Jason Guerrier. Matt Acton screaming at the referee, asking what's going on. Well, that was very, very close.
Well, it was a wonderful ball in, and I'm not too sure how much Jason Guerrier and his defensive teammates knew about it. As we see there, it just sort of hits him. He reacts at the last moment and just drops down. Not very convincing defending. It was a wonderful ball from Jay O'Shea.
If they can turn that around, if that's just a matter of getting the first and then the gates open, we know how much goal scoring is about confidence. As Falami put it on the left and let fly straight at Jordan Holmes.
Well, as soon as he picked up the ball, Falami, you could hear the crowd. They were baying for him to shoot, and he took on their advice. Nice positive action, drives forward, has a little look. Defence is dropping off. Why not?
Well, they are a side that don't commit too many numbers forward. They have the best defence in the land for a reason, as Cadete, his cross. Cleared at the near post. Calls of handball from the crowd again at Amy Park. It's just going to add as a... That's a great switch of play. Mile Uznic. Trying the effort. Was that floating around in the air again? One of those trademark knuckleballs from him.
Well, he's at the heart of everything going forward for Brisbane Roar. Andrew Durante spoke about the way he can stretch the defensive line and open up midfield.
As here's Knowles down the left. Brillante across in cover, but it's another corner that comes from down this left-hand side. Yes, the days of Raw Salona under Ange Postecoglou. They were the possession kings.
Well, they were, and we were just speaking before we came on air about 8 games undefeated, and I said, yeah, they're getting close to the record of most games undefeated, and we went
36, wasn't
36, where we've got a little way to go yet.
The longest ever in Australian sport, I think it was.
Yeah.
As here is O'Shea's ball. I remember getting Robert Pires to send a message to our Brisbane Roar players, because they too had gone, well, the Invincibles, they went 38, of course, with Arsenal.
Well, they actually went 49, and they were going for the 50 and got beat by Manchester United.
Well, there you go. Not in a single season, though. Free kick. Cadete thinks it's soft. His compatriot agrees.
Well, I think they actually think that Henry Hall came back from an offside position. And we saw last week or the week before that they conceded a corner from an offside that wasn't given, where they conceded the winning goal.
Is taken short into the box with Hoare on the left foot. Well, it was well played, and he managed to get a shot away. He does have an eye for the spectacular.
Well, they rather switched off there, didn't they, Melbourne Victory in defence? An easy ball inside into the box.
Henry Hoare under pressure. Kai Truan, good pass. Now the break is on. Spiranovic has to come across in cover. Henry Hoare against Spiranovic. O'Shea wants it on the edge of the box. Now the cross in is a good one. Mile Uznic claims he was pushed in the back by Brillante. Anything in that for you?
Not for mine. It was a nice ball in. Just got inside. There's not enough in that. Has to do better there.
Well, the free kick count is now 11-5 against Melbourne Victory.
You could just see there Roderick Miranda saying everyone's falling down all the time and it's always whistle, whistle, whistle. He wants the game to flow a little more.
The header away by Spiranovic was a good one over Mile Uznic, who has caused the Victory defence its fair share of problems in this first half. Victory have had more efforts on target, but paradoxically probably haven't caused the Brisbane defence any more problems than the away team has at the other end. Bellamy let fly with one from distance. Brimmer's had a couple of efforts on target as well. Brillante with Bellamy. Brillante goes again. Is there something brewing here for Victory? D'Agostino left it. Nani chips the ball back in towards Fulami, but it wasn't an incisive run either from Fulami. The 2 minutes of stoppage time are up. A chorus of jeers around Amy Park. Nani, playing in that number 10 role, has struggled to create anything. Brimmer has gone closest, along with Falami, for the home side Melbourne victory. Brisbane have had half chances without really carving out anything to worry Matt Acton in the victory goal, and at half-time in Melbourne is victory 0, Raw 0. Threaten the scorers. And it's Melbourne victory that do get us back underway in this second half, looking to try and turn around a run of back-to-back defeats in the A-League. Straight onto the front foot, and that cross can't find a taker. Daniel McBreen, defences, understandably, or perhaps we should say predictably, between these two sides, on top in the opening half.
Yeah, they were. And I think Chris Economidis said it best in the half-time show there, that they need to be a little bit more adventurous. He was talking about his own team, but you could apply it to both. A little bit more adventurous in that front third. They need something to spark them to life. Both teams really struggling to open up the defences.
Both sides failing to score in the first half for the 8th time out of 10 this season. That tells the story. When we talk about predictable.
Well, fast starters, aren't they? Well, like you can add
fast
to that.
Starters, if you're fast finishers, that's okay.
Yeah. Well, you can add to that that five of those games have ended without scoring for victory as well.
O'Shea keeps it alive. Armiento drives it in hard, well defended by D'Agostino again. I mentioned in the first half the North Terrace fans could be relocated. I've been informed by Victory fans clearly watching at home that that is not the case, that their memberships were suspended for this, as it's O'Shea's ball for Armiento's left foot, and it's over the crossbar. So I guess while that identification process continues after the Melbourne derby, today, Henry Hall's little flick looking for Milewsnich. D'Agostino, great header. He's landed heavily, but Nani's kept the move going with Falami. Brillante coming forward. Falami can't find him. Nani takes over and shoots. Denied by Holmes at his near post. And Nani's search for that first A-League goal continues, but he's getting closer.
Well, he just held the ball a little too long there, Falami, to release Brillante. But luckily for Nani, the rebound came straight to him.
Falami now for D'Agostino, one for him to chase. Brillante, first time ball for Nani. And again, it's good movement in the box from the veteran, but he can't direct his header on target.
Well, we're just starting to see a little bit from both teams here. Also, Melbourne victory with the Harvey Norman replay showing Nani just getting across the defender, just stretching a little for the header though. Can't get it on target.
Melbourne victory have done this very well. They've prevented the counter-attacks nearly all night. Oh, it was Spiranovic. Just misjudged that one. It was never going to make it all the way through to Matt Acton.
A little bit nervy there, wasn't it? Yours, mine? No, well, I'll get rid of it now.
Here, Ryan Marchand laying down the law to his teammates. We win this header. Jay O'Shea again. Tall timber at the near post for Melbourne victory. And it comes from O'Shea. It's a good ball. The header from Courtney Perkins. In the end, a free header on the edge of the 6-yard box, but he couldn't find the target again. 7 efforts, all off target for Raw.
Well, it was a good delivery, but he is moving backwards, reaching a little for the ball. And himself last week, Courtney Perkins drifting between lines as well, getting on the end of things.
So clearly, Tony Popovic believes he can do a job, and that reputations count for little. Marchand. Sporanovic, with the only just 21-year-old, birthday just before Christmas. Guerrier with the challenge. Now here is Will Wilson with Marchand. Cadete getting forward, but Valupale was backing off as Neville charges through. Now Miranda. Will those changes inject some much-needed urgency into this contest? Brillante, it's a good ball from Nani. He dinks it up. Fornaroli's header at the near post. He's claiming it came off Chapman. Goal kick, says Kurt Ams.
Well, that's a nice move from Melbourne Victory down that right-hand side. You see here, Josh Brillante found himself in acres of space. Harvey Norman replay says he goes with the dink, which is difficult for the striker then. You've got to generate your own pace, and you can see Fornaroli straining the neck muscles. He was always stretching a little for it.
Knowles back with Courtney Perkins. Zabala getting involved now. Mile Uznic. Zabala again. Hoare for O'Shea into the area. Nice touch. O'Shea looking to bend it. It's deflected and it's in. And it's Jay O'Shea who has provided that spark and a whole slice of luck for the Irishman as Brisbane lead with less than 20 minutes to play. It's 1-0 over Melbourne Victory.
Well, the Harvey Norman replay will show it's the old rope-a-dope. Soak back, all the pressure, counter-punch. Jay O'Shea taking it on himself to get in the box, little twist and a turn. A little fortuitous with the deflection, which means Matt Atkin can do nothing about it. And against all the run and all the play, Brisbane Roar finally feel themselves in front. Unbelievably.
Wilson, Marchand. Well, Brooks was making the run to the back post. It's kept alive with Sporanovic, who fancies it. That was more than ambitious. That one A-League goal that I mentioned earlier for Sporanovic, it came 8 years ago in the grand final against Brisbane for Western Sydney.
Oh, that was a strike from that distance out of pure frustration, wasn't it? And real movement in front.
Just a second change of the evening for Brisbane with 6 minutes to go plus stoppages. There's not going to be a fourth wonder goal this season for Carlo Armiento, as he just picks up a bit of litter on his way off. And is replaced by Riku Danzaki, Japanese midfielder, and a high five from his coach Warren Moon as well. It wasn't electric from Armiento this evening, but this has been a very tight contest and not one for the entertainers, shall we say. It's been very tough.
I don't think in 15 years we'll be looking back as this is one of the greatest games in the A-League. But to be fair to the Melbourne Victory defence, they had marshalled him very well. It's been that kind of night.
Here's Guerrier with Brooks. Ball in, deflected and claimed by Holmes. We could yet see one of the best goals of the last 15 years.
And again, Melbourne Victory coming down that right-hand side. It's not a bad ball.
Flick by Nani forces Miranda back. Well, he was unsighted. Akbari claiming he took ball. Nani going to ground. Free kick victory. Guerrier is there, Sporanovic as well at the back. As Nani goes straight for goal. Well, he almost caught out Jordan Holmes there. Well, if being surprised is an injury, he may be down for a little while, Jordan Holmes.
Well, he almost caught him sleeping there, didn't he? Went for it. It was going to take something special, and he just...
Brooks accelerates, but there was no real option there with Sporanovic. 8 minutes have elapsed. Here's O'Shea into the area. Still Jay O'Shea. The cut back for Akbari. And that was almost the killer blow, the knockout punch from Rahmat Akbari. But surely now that's enough.
Well, Jay O'Shea wanted to go to the corner, didn't he? But he found himself in space and said, well, I have to go to goal now. And in the end, Bari with the deflected shot that goes wide. And Jay O'Shea in no hurry whatsoever.
Well, I think that's just a second effort on target, all match for Brisbane Roar, but they won't mind. It's a third win of the season for Brisbane. It sees them into the 6. They continue their fantastic form this term. 8 matches without defeat for Warren Moon and his Chargers, courtesy of Jay O'Shea's deflected goal in the 73rd minute. But it's more woe for Melbourne Victory. That is 3 defeats on the bounce. 1-0 against Western United, 2-1 against the Mariners, and now 1-0 this evening. For the 6th time in 10 matches, they have failed to find the back of the net. Plenty of food for thought for last season's Coach of the Year, Tony Popovic. As it's finished here at Amy Park, Brisbane Roar in the winner's circle by a 1-0, courtesy of Jay O'Shea.